So hello everyone and welcome to Code for Japan Summit 2012. I'm Mami Takesada, the Community Manager of Code for Japan. I'm honored to be able to be here to introduce my friends from Taiwan and Korea. Here is track 6 and this session is edtech for new normal. Before we start the session, I want to share about the Code of Conduct. Code for Japan Summit is an event organized and run by contributors and volunteers in the Code for community that is dedicated to advancing and promoting the civic tech projects and communities. Each attendee, staffs, and speakers should be mindful of your surroundings and of your fellow participants. Alert an event organizer if you notice a dangerous situation, someone in distress, or violations of this guideline. If something makes you feel concerned or worried, even if you're not sure it's a violation, it's better to reach out than to ignore. Please let us know if you have any questions or trouble. Feel free to mail me or email to Code for Japan address. And this is the summit organizers. The summit is organized by Code for Japan. 6 brigades from Tokai area are co-hosts. And this is the list of partners and sponsors of Code for Japan Summit 2012. Tableau is the special sponsor, and more than 10 companies take part in our event. Thank you so much for your support. Slido, okay. So this is the Slido, and the event code is FTO 2012. So if you have some comments or questions about this session, please write it down to Slido or just directly comment on YouTube. Yes. So this session is about education and edtech. We have the guests from Taiwan and Korea, so we will talk about edtech topics, and after that we will have some discuss. And first, I will introduce my friends Beth. Sorry. Could you tell me a bit about yourself, Beth? Mute your.
Okay. Hi, I'm Beth from Gavio Zhou, and I'm the chief of staff of Gavio Zhou, and I also work for Gavio Summit 2020. So thank you for inviting me to join this session.
Thank you. And next is me from Korea. So please introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm from the South Korea. This is me. Just call me Mimi, or anyways, I can hear you. I work in the Bati. Bati is a democratic activist. COOP is we do the Bati education experiment. So I will share about the experience case.
Thank you. And Kyo from Code for Japan. So can you introduce yourself?
Yes. Can you hear me? Okay. Hello everyone, I'm Kyo Watanabe, also known as Mason Musician. I work at Code for Japan as an intern, and I'm a second-year student of Day2 Tokyo University of the Arts, majoring in composition. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. And next is about me. And I am Mami from Code for Japan. And I'm also a PhD student of child development. So this session for contributors who related to education will talk about edtech. So please ask some questions and give some ideas. If you want to write it down, YouTube is okay. But if you can open the Slido is okay. So now I will handle it over to Beth. So please share about GovZero and school, please.
Hi. Today I want to share the story of school. This is the education project based on GovZero Hackathon. And before I introduce school, I want to introduce a little bit about GovZero Josong. And GovZero Josong is my team to work for a bi-monthly GovZero Hackathon. So we do the school project based on GovZero Hackathon. So because GovZero Josong is not professional for education. So actually we learned a lot from this project. So today I want to share things that we learned at the school project. So okay. Over the past 8 years, in a GovZero community, there are 55 educational proposals at GovZero Hackathon, accounting for 10% of our hackathon, proposals. But it's very hard to maintain educational projects before school project was launched, and there's only more dictionary coming to GovZero Hackathon. So at the beginning of this project, I think the co-working method is very important for maintaining a community. So I set up the goals of this project to help edtech community to learn from open source community. Actually, they could learn from each other. So this is for next page. This is the strategy of our method. We invite the educator and the student for educational field. Maybe they could bring some questions and be a peak owner at GovZero Hackathon. And this March, we held the second workshop of school project. One of the speakers told us about Taiwan edtech ecosystem. There are 3 parts of it: content, service, and application, platform, and infrastructure. And she said, school project is part of content service. But in my opinion, school project is community. But if you look at this project together with GovZero, I think GovZero itself it is an ecosystem. So how do we develop an education ecosystem? We have 3 processes: seeding, incubation, and acceleration. So the first step, we develop the edtech community based on a GovZero Hackathon. And GovZero Hackathon is the accelerator of a GovZero community. People met at GovZero Hackathon bi-monthly and co-work for a lot of new ideas and new projects. And the second step, we learn from each other with all processes recorded in documents and photos. And we also have all the videos on our YouTube channel. And finally, we choose some potential projects and help them to be a better project. Hope they could keep forward with GovZero community. So I want to introduce some project of school, and these projects are all open source projects. So after this year, we want to continue to help these projects to be a better project. So the first one is Happiness Handbook. So the Happiness Handbook is a team from engineers of Gapseo community and people from Grass Book House. And Grass Book House is the community organization to support high-risk children with low learning achievements. So it's about accompanying. So accompanying the growth of children is not just about schoolwork guidance and dream realization. We visit in this February, we visit Grass Book House, and Miss Yuan from Grass Book House told us that they want to have new ways to reward children. If there is a application, their teacher could release more time to help children. So I bring these ideas to school. So fortunately, there was an engineer have interest in this idea. So they co-work the Happiness Handbook. And the next one is Co-Teach. And Co-Teach is a platform that want to help teachers to share their lesson plans. And the ideas came from a GitHub. They want to develop a GitHub of teachers. And next one is Dao online learning platform, and it was co-founded by a group of students and teachers. They felt self-directed learners often have difficulties to finding appropriate learning resources. So they want to build up a platform to increase the quality of our resources. And next one is literacy platex database, and this database provide a variety of CC license Mandarin literacy practice for some for game developer, teachers own or any kind of users can use it to develop their own games or their applications. So the database built on a structured dictionary data from Moy Dictionary. And the practice are mainly come from computer generated and education department and governments at all levels. And we have a chatbot for high school students. And chatbot for high school students is a chatbot developed for high school students to assist high school students in their daily lives, just like their homework and their exam. The chatbot will push notification before they leave in school. And due to COVID-19, they added a temperature registration system to avoid the risk of exposure when some transferring paper phones. So after the school project, they developed this project into version 2. So in version 2, they have more update, and they were available for all high school students, for all Taiwanese students in 2022. 2021. So after this year, we want to keep push educational community in GovZero. So what's next? Next we will going to GovZero Summit 2020. And if you have any interest with our projects, so please join our GovZero Slack channel edu, and you can click the link. And in GovZero Summit 2020, we have a final presentation for this project. So the project manager or PIT owner will present their projects in GovZero Summit 2020. So please come with us to listen their experience. Thank you.
Thank you. And next, we will talk about the Japan case. Home class timetable is our application. First, I will talk about the situation during the COVID-19. From the end of February, school stopped because of COVID-19 and the long vacation came for kids. The middle of May, the Ministry of Education streamed on YouTube. They want elementary schools to get devices for every student, and they push for the teachers to reform the educational system drastically. But it's quite difficult for the school to change by the sudden request. So only some schools which have enough budget can accept it, but the digital divide is widening at lower income levels and countryside. So we thought that we should help students and teachers by using the power of civic tech. And we are on the way to solve this issue. We have the relationship with civic techers in Taiwan and Hong Kong, Korea. And this relationship cheered me up when I decided to start this project at the beginning of COVID-19 pandemic. Bess, me, and I shared the time during FTO Tainan last summer. And I joined school project with Bess handling at Taipei in last winter. I was really inspired by them, and because of it, we can make home class timetable. Today, I invite Kyo, who is a university student and also a contributor of Tokyo Metropolitan COVID-19 website and home class timetable. And he will introduce about this project. So Kyo, please.
Yes. Hi again. Can you hear me? Okay, so before moving on, I'll make some small talk about me. This is my first English presentation in my life, so I'm feeling nervous and excited. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to post it to the chat on YouTube or our slide, #FTO2020. So let's go back to my presentation. The home class timetable is a web application that enables teachers at elementary schools to send the plans of the lessons to their students who don't get to school due to, for example, COVID-19. We have been developing this application in case of the second or third outbreak of COVID-19. And most of the members who operate the project are also the students of an university or high school in Japan. In COVID-19, how do you think did and does the study go at home? If we are restricted from going to school for some reasons, what will happen? Students may wonder, what should I do to study home? And teachers may worry, how do I have my students do so? I'll show you the two real examples. The first example is the not digitalized solution. A teacher built the plans of the lessons called weekly study plan or 学習計画表 in Japanese. Then they wrote them on paper or made copies of the students. After they printed out the seats for the number of the students, they walked to the house of every student and handed to them the seats with some of the learning materials. As you may know, the problems are this is very hard work and costs too much paper. Also, visits to students may cause coronavirus infections. Take another example, fully digitalized. A certain number of schools adapted some web platforms such as Google Classroom or Microsoft Teams. Yeah, for the people who are used to the service, that's no problem. But for the others, so the problems are, firstly, not all students have their own digital devices. Even though the government is now engaged on distribution of the devices to all students in Japan, it costs time and money. Not all schools can afford to immediately introduce the devices. And secondly, not all teachers are familiar with such digital devices or technology. Even in my university, not elementary school though, some professors had difficulty dealing with the service. For example, oh, I can't upload the PDF, please help me. Or the students asked, sir, you may have failed to attach the file, can you try uploading again? In the worst and funniest case, one of the professors posts in Google Classroom stories, I'm currently exporting the video, but it takes longer than expected. I'm sorry, but the class will be delayed. And finally, I got the video 9 hours behind the schedule. As we saw in these examples, it's truly difficult and hard to change right away from not digitalized to fully digitalized. The goal is too far from the circumstance of many schools. We need a halfway point for digitalization of this education. In this way, our project was born. So let's take a look at our application. The biggest feature is how easy to use. Students don't have to do either account registration nor signing in. In order to check the schedule, they just enter the unique course ID, which consists of 6 hiragana characters. Hiragana is also an important point I'll explain later. And our application is optimized for mobile phones since a number of students don't have the PC. As I mentioned earlier, they use their parents' phones. Plus, the application can be used even by from 6 to 8-year-old students. We use easy expressions and icons and use hiragana instead of kanji or alphabets. In almost all the services, the login ID is made up of alphabets. However, it may be difficult for young children to understand. So we choose hiraganas. Another feature is UI internationalization. We collaborate with the government members, and now the application is almost fully localized to English and Taiwanese. Thank you very much, Bess. So I will touch our future plans. We've been asking the several schools and teachers to try our application, and we are going to improve it based on their reviews. Currently, we are asked to optimize the teacher's view for PC to add some function to copy lesson or import from files, and to allow the student to post comments to the lesson. Now, what should we do? What should we do to achieve new normal education? First, we need more open educational resources. Basically, there are very few online resources for elementary and junior high school available in Japanese text. Open content culture such as Wikibooks, public domain, Creative Commons, and open licenses are hardly known, especially to educational industries. Secondly, not all can do this because the education in elementary and junior high school is compulsory. compulsory means everyone must get the same education. On the contrary, we need to advance always. Some people say, I can do this, so I will change nothing. Our mission is to change their mindsets to, I can do it for now, but I will change something, and to help them indeed change something. Speaking of change something, Code for Japan held a competition for social issue solution with technology, Civic Tech Challenge Cup Under 22. This was targeted to the students of high school and universities and operated by the student member of our home class timetable. This is a Civic Tech event of the student by the student for everyone. And the final review will be held online next Sunday. We are looking forward to join us. That's all from Japan. Thank you.
Thank you. So next is about Korea from me.
My turn. Today, I just talk about is our democracy activities cases. Bati is have a lot of platform, so we try to use it new normal way. Our platform and is ordinarily is platform. Is after COVID-19 is as EU, Japan and Taiwan is the same happen is everyone is confused. Is everyone don't know about this. So yeah, I don't know about this. So is a first spring semester or is the whole thing is chaos at all things, but in Korea also same is the Ministry of the Education started share the schooling statutes, and they decide schooling or not before one day. Before one day is just decide and announce it. Is everyone is quickly responsive as is chaos. But is they give us some instructions and guidelines for the online schooling, and they have some guidelines the evaluation of the schooling of things. So I will share after this case is Ministry of Educations. But as online schooling is we started to concern about platform. So actually in Korea is e-learning system is really well made. Is education broadcast system is EBS is a really famous is education contents and systems. So we already have an e-learning systems. We turn to the school learning management system by government, and EBS asked to the edtech. They making this system is for 1 month. So is that they handle the 3 million students, and they give a service to them. As first of all, at the beginning, only of the service is it also is chaos, but is they overcome all things. Now they can handle all things. In Korea is K edtech. Is we also said Korean edtech is K edtech. Is a really some people is think that is we have a famous edtech. So I know that in Korea is have a education fever. Is parents always study a lot about this. So that's why is we educate e-learning platform and education tech is really well made. But is it at the COVID-19 spread outbreak is interesting results. Communication platform is really popular and really important for as a class and the schooling, online schooling. So classing and classroom high class, all things is a similar, is a study at home is a similar, is they checking each other and they notice each other. They is a share information in the communication platform is a kind of the community platform. And also is we use a Zoom model, is a famous community platform. So we also in Bati also use is our platform, and the very famous is a Zoom or other communication platform use it, and we do the new normal activities experiments. So first of all is we discuss about online schooling public square. So everyone is chaos, so everyone should talk about online schooling. It is possible and we should continue or not. Is at May is we have a public scare as we discuss about this. Is teachers, students, and youth center activists and edtech, all people is together and we discuss about new normal education. And we share the online schooling, so they satisfy learning substitutes. Is they learning by themselves? Is they satisfies it? Also, they really interested in online tool and contents. But is by using an online, is they suffer the concentration is lower, and some teacher don't want to the two-way platform. Teacher just give a video clip, so they don't want to it is not schooling. They said that, and extra work is happen. Is a teacher should be making a video clip like a YouTuber, and the parents should be stand or sitting next to the children. So it's all things is we share the difficulties, what they learn and what is better. So we discuss about this. And also we decided we need to online schooling more. Is that safety is more important. We learn about that. So we decided, and we discussed about this university issue. University tuition is really higher in Korea, but is online schooling is we turn to online schooling. Is the tuition is unfair. So some university students is said, so we need to refund. So they discuss about this and they give comments. So those public squares we use it by is Bati Mix platform. Is a Bati public square platform. So through those platforms, so we learn about this. And another new normal activist is post-corona humanity anthropology. Is we learn about is post-corona humanities. This is the first time is all people. So we learn about is era and reading the era. So it's a Seoul and Gwangju and Jeju different learning school, alternative learning school and youth center is together. And we do the using a various leading material and the digital communication and these collaborate and the crowdsourcing and open source way is we try to do it. We use it as a famous platform. So you can see the Zoom, and now is they started to their own learning community project. Season 1 is made by the tutor mentor, but is season 2 is by the first try team is Monjodan, is a youth group made it themselves. They learn about the various platforms, is Mural, Notion, or Slack, all things they use it, and they choose it, and they plan our learning project and design project, and then communication by themselves. So now their process is those apart and together in new normal. They choose a title. The project is process now. So you can find the Instagram and the Notion of this, and they so cute. Is they always making a gesture each other like this. So they try to do that. It's a similar one thing is our Bati community platform by use it is we making a youth social activist community. So Beautiful Foundation is a support that is some youth want to do the social activities is they gather in this platform and they some suggestion, and they making a voice, and they do collaboration, and they do the online meetup and do offline some activities can do it. So those kind of the experiments. Is one thing is we think that is edu is always think that is a student is equal. Is a student or teaching is always we think about that, but is we just slightly differently viewpoint to change it. Is don't need to student syndromes. We can be the activists and we can do our own project and as experiments. So we're making some party democracy activist school. So we do the democracy experiment collaboration. So we explore and do and retrospector is a feedback and improve, and the open source way is we do that. So I have an insight about this. Is we need the digital literacy, but is more important things is courting better life or better education, better learning things is needed. And everyone people is and have a communication needs, and they should have a learning. Learning and doing. Learning doing is R in here. You can see, I can see here, learning and doing cycle. As cultures, we need it. And so I just felt that as a new normal education activist is a kind of the open source project, and the project-based learning should be needed for us. So that's all. I just share insight, and next time I collaborate with you all.
Thank you. And we want to talk about education and edtech, but it's only 3 minutes. So the question is that how can we bring teachers and parents to edtech world? And because when I went to Taiwan school project, there is a lot of teachers and parents and the other civic people come. I mean that the non-tech people come, and this is the big difference between Japanese, because when we talk about edutech, only the tech people will come. So how to gather the teachers best?
But
Can you share?
I think it's as you mentioned that parents and teachers come to GovZero Hackathon, but before we launched school project, they are not for educational projects. So for us, it's very difficult to push them to participate in educational projects. So this is our questions too. So it's very difficult because they think education is very professional field. So they don't want to just, because they are using their times at weekend to work with us. So they don't want to use their professional to involve in the project. So for us, it's also difficult.
Okay, so we have to try together. And the next question is about the people from technologies. How to encourage people from open source community to participate in the tech project. And I'll ask Sam, because you said that edutech is very famous. So how to technologies? Yeah.
Actually, edutech is lack of the open source way. So I just think that we should think about the open source way, but in Code for Korea is some channel we deal about is edtech. So we started to discuss of the edtech, and some contributors started some project. Maybe it's next year is we can collaborate each other. I hope to that.
Okay, so we'll talk about it next year. Okay, so it's time. So finally, we want to introduce about GovZero Summit. So Beth, can you tell us about GovZero Summit?
Yeah, because we have a lot of issues wanted to discuss. So in GovZero Summit, we will it will held by GovZero Summit 2020 working group, and it's take place at this December at Tainan, Taiwan. It is a physical event, but we have online live stream for everyone if you cannot come into Taiwan, and we will continue to discuss the education problem in our session, like stop schooling and don't stop learning. So please come to hear how we discuss this topic. So thank you.
Thank you. So we finished the session, and last we have to have announcement about the code of conduct. Thank you having the time with us. I want to share about the code of conduct again. Summit will be continued, so please make sure about this. Yeah, please let us know if you have any case feel uncomfortable. Feel free to send me a message or send email to Call for Japan address is also okay. So please enjoy the rest of this event. Thank you. Thank you. So see you next in GovZero Summit.
Coming soon.
Coming soon. Yes, coming soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't be too soon.
Don't be too soon. You have to prepare. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye. ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございます。